Hi, I'm Jono, and if you're new here, I do pencil drawings. So I'm busy cleaning my studio and my headspace in preparation for this new year, and I thought I'd take you through some of the things I'm thinking about and just hoping to set myself up for a really productive and creative year ahead of me. Also, a huge thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video, but I'll tell you more about them a bit later. The start of a new year is a great opportunity to have new resolve to get into new things. It's also where we often set up the pace for the year and indirectly quickly start setting up some failures. I've started to try and avoid that by keeping the expectations of those first 2 months quite low. Coming out of the holiday season, it's always been difficult for me. I'm usually still exhausted from wrapping up the previous year, or worse, still trying to finish things off from the last year. Furthermore, adding on pressure to try and have a clean start with my projects just sets me up for disappointment. So I try to move into the new year slowly, if possible, identifying the baggage that I'm bringing over from the last year and giving it as much space as I can. Last year was particularly hectic for me. I completely burnt myself out, and I learned some big lessons about stretching myself too far. One of the issues was trying to keep up with a social media schedule, making tons of videos to try and keep up with doing what I thought was the right thing to do with YouTube and all the other platforms that I share my work on. Constantly chasing analytics sucked a lot of the joy out of making videos for me. It felt like a chore, and worse, it started taking so much of my time away from drawing. It felt like my videos weren't a reflection of the kind of content that I originally wanted to be creating. It felt like even the thumbnails started to look like every other video on YouTube, looking at what other creators were doing and trying to mimic things that I thought might be successful in an attempt to try and grow the space here. It just felt so hollow, and it actually took a while to identify what was making me feel that way. By the end of last year, I started to reevaluate things. I was starting to look at what was adding fulfillment and what was draining it. And that was really helpful in figuring out where to put my energy and what to let go of. One of the first things I did was to start taking a step back from posting as frequently. I decided to try and pour love into every aspect of the content that I was making. I realized that, well, doing well with analytics is basically what funds this YouTube channel and allows me to make these videos. I actually already have support. I have a sponsor who sponsors the majority of my videos, as I'm sure a lot of you know. And with that comes a bit of freedom that I didn't fully embrace, allowing me to not worry too much about the constant growth in numbers, but to rather focus on what kind of content makes me proud to share. For example, I really love exploring and sharing the headspace around drawing and creating. I love sharing the new things that I'm learning along the way. In a way, this almost feels a bit like a diary, and to have that diary corrupted by trying to play the algorithm game that isn't really authentically me feels like a huge loss, and I think I realized that the path that I was on just wasn't really sustainable. The change is happening slowly, but down to even the thumbnails of the videos, and trying to be proud of every moment has shifted my reward system away from an externally validated one that depends on the views or the click-through rate or a bunch of analytics that you can just really get sucked into, to a more internally validated one that just kind of simply asks if you're proud of what you're doing. Changing the metric to how many views does this get to something like, could I frame this and put it on the wall in the studio? And the same thing applies to the videos or the writing of the description underneath an Instagram post, even the replies in the comments. It's a lot, and I think it's a difficult ideal to try and uphold, but it definitely gives me direction, and I feel like it's something that's a lot more worth striving for. I'm saying this more for myself, but I'll share it with you anyway. Clean your physical studio space. Throw away and sell what you don't need. Carrying physical baggage is a powerful metaphor for the emotional baggage from last year. Think about falling in love again with what you do. And when I say what you do, I don't just mean the things that pay the bills, but more importantly, everything around that. And remember that focusing on the next mark you make can go a long way in combating the anxiety of trying to finish a full artwork. Before in this video, I just want to give a huge shout out to this video sponsor, Squarespace. They've played a huge role in my career, not only in sponsoring these videos and really helping me maintain this channel, but more importantly, early on in my career, I was looking for an easy way to make a beautiful website. I didn't have time to learn HTML, and I was pretty intimidated by the whole prospect of trying to build and get a website started. So finding a really simple, effortless way to do that was really important to me. And I found that Squarespace did that effortlessly. I never had to patch or upgrade anything. I could register a domain with them and set up an online store, and most importantly, I could design a portfolio and show my work the way that I wanted to. Also, every time I got stuck, their amazing support team helped me out instantly. So if you're looking at building a website, give Squarespace a try, and if you decide that you love them, use this offer code and get 10% off your first purchase. I think this video was a little bit more for me than it was for anyone else. But if you've watched the whole thing, I hope that you found something valuable. If you did, leave a like, it helps the channel out in a huge way. Also, let me know in the comments if you have a specific mindset that you're bringing with you into the new year to help you just kind of be a little bit kinder to yourself and have the best possible start that you can. As always, thanks for the support, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.